All right, ladies and gentlemen. A lot of my mods are uh, out east and have been affected by the hurricane. We're praying for them. Um, so I figured real fast I'd recap on the Delphi, Indiana case, which I've done numerous videos on. And so we're going to recap on that a little bit. Was there a cover up? Was there a mistake? Was Richard Allen the posse? It's possible. It's possible. We have to refer back to what the police said, Doug Carter, that there was numerous voices on the recording other than Abby and Libby's. So we know there was one at least, possibly two, three. Hello, Miss Spencer Asher. So what is my opinion on Voice Guy? Well, there was tons of material on Brian James Chadwell. So if you wanted a voice match or something to compare Voice Guy to, there was plenty of footage of Brian James Chadwell on social media. Uh, so, is there a match there? I believe there is a match there. I had a couple people in there, right? I didn't have enough footage of Richard Allen voice, so it was hard to match. He might be voice number one. Voice number two was easier to match because there's a lot on Brian James Chadwell. And both of these guys, Richard Allen does fit the description of Bridge Guy, but I got to get closer. The gate is what sold me more on Brian James Chadwell because there was also footage of Brian James Chadwell of him walking. So there was a lot of footage on him. And he does fit he's the same height as Allen. My thing was the voice, right? The voice would put them there at that spot. Now, a lot of people tried to say that Brian James Chadwell was in jail at that time, but that's not true. He was just released before that. He's been in jail numerous times. Now, he also got arrested right after the Delphi murders for kidnapping a 9-year-old girl. So, and plus there was footage of him saying that he used to sleep under bridges. He knew that area. And he had friends there. See, Chadwell also was one, just like a couple of these other YouTubers that talked about they belonged in a club, a gang or whatever. And we also have footage of Brian James Chadwell, who also is talking about a club that they belong to. Some kind of a gang or something. And he himself was mixed up into things, alcohol, the women, and young kids, right? He actually got caught with a 9-year-old girl chained up in his basement after Delphi murders. So, was Richard Allen there? Well, we don't know. Like, we're only going off of what we know with police info, is that there was numerous voices there. Now, whether them voices were close to the footage, the camera, the phone, or off in the distance, because you have to remember, there was actually people there that day walking the trails, other than Abby and Libby. Now, is it possible that there was two of them, maybe three. That's very well possible. Maybe two there. Who knows? Now, is it all possible that both of these guys are potsies? Well, that's also possible, but I don't think so. You'd have to explain how. The only way one of them guys' voice could get on that recording is if what we thought was true. The girls weren't there when they said they were there. The phone was pinging all over town. Was there enough time to manipulate the footage to take the data off of that phone and manipulate it and put something on it that wasn't real? And if you have enough time and you know what you're doing, could you edit something and put it on the phone as data? Well, you might be able to. Maybe. I'm not a professional, but I know this much. If you can take data off of a phone, you could put data onto a phone. So Chadwell was a very disturbed person too. Richard Allen, I don't know. It's possible he could have been at the wrong spot at the wrong time. I do believe there is a connection between Keegan Kline and all these guys because they all talked about some club they belonged to, some group. And we know that they were also drug dealers. They sold drugs. They talked about being in this club, this gang. They sold drugs. And they were into young kids. So it makes sense that it was a ring because before Delphi came along, there was a problem down there that they were talking about. They were starting a task force or something for the problems they were having in Indiana with these clubs and rings and young girls and stuff being used or raped or whatever. So it kind of makes sense to me. Now, they would have to have something there at Richard Allen's house that proved he was there because today's world it's so easy for someone to get set up. Uh, all someone had to do was take a bullet from his house, plant it there. He could have been having a fight with someone, not know it. Maybe somebody became friends with him just so they can get some DNA from him to plant there. We don't know. We wish this case would go into court with cameras and really deep dive into it. I know they want to bring the jurors out there, and they should let them see what kind of terrain that is to walk, how they had to get to where they got. The big question now is there a cover up? That's the big question, and why? Now, we also have to look at scams. Maybe they're setting up Richard Allen because he's innocent, and then it'll be proven he's innocent, and then he countersues and walks away with millions and millions, and maybe divide it up against their little gang down there or whatever they all belong to. We don't know yet. There's numerous things they got to look into. Uh, does the voice match? I don't know. A lot of people were saying take a look at Greeno's voice. I don't. We Greeno. You don't know if you could trust him or not. Uh, his voice is similar, but I don't know. I would go with Chadwell more on the first voice. And I'm not saying any of these guys are the killer. I don't know. I'm just going by what I can hear and play thousands of times over. And folks, if you have like a music studio, like Pro Tools or anything like that, you can also download these files of these voices and run them through your Pro Tools, and then you can clean it up take the static out of it, the DS, or there's all kinds of stuff you could do to try and bring out the voices more. But I think there's standalone plugins that you can also buy to help solve crime for sound and video. But would it surprise me if Chadwell was there? It wouldn't surprise me. There's actually footage of Chadwell underneath the bridge swimming, telling people you can't do this, but he doesn't, or he can. You're not supposed to, but because he can. He does things because he can. So, yeah, very might well be, which he's already behind bars. And I do believe they did all know each other down there because there was a bunch of crews down there, gangs, whatever you want to call them, clubs. I don't know. They all said they rode motorcycles or whatever. Who knows? But yeah, serious problem in Indiana. Sure, it was before the Delphi case. Uh, is there a serious problem in America? Oh heck yeah, yeah, yeah. So who was it? We don't really know, folks. We don't have the evidence right in front. I can only on this channel go by what I hear from my ears with decibels, with decibel points on. There's like I said, there's plugins and EQs that you could put that voice into a DAW system, a studio DAW, and you can match the points of them in the other videos talking like Chadwell, and you could pretty much see while the vocal cord is reacting the same, and you can see the pitch in the vocal cords through these plugins and EQs and analyzers and spectrum analyzers and stuff. So that can also help fight crime. Um, and there's all kinds of stuff. But that's what I'm probably thinking. Was Chadwell there? Yeah, they had Chadwell first. Before Richard Allen got busted, Chadwell was already arrested after the Delphi murders. He was arrested after Keegan Kline, I believe, or right before Keegan Kline. So did one of them say something? Was there others? I don't know. You have to go by the clues that the police put out there, that there was numerous voices on the recording other than Abby and Libby's. So that means there was more than one person other than Abby and Libby on that recording. So there had to be more. And the clue that they left, that the guy on the bridge might not be the guy on the voice recording. And the guy on the voice recording might not be that guy walking down the bridge. So I took it as there's possibly two, maybe more there. Numerous voices on the recording. Chadwell having footage of him at that crime scene, but before or after the murders, swimming. Chadwell used to say he used to like to stay when he had nowhere to live or whatever, or to do his dirty work or whatever, underneath bridges. He used to sleep underneath them or whatever. I don't know. Possibly. So we'll leave it at that. Is it interesting to see what's going on with Richard Allen? Where does he come in? Well, Richard Allen might come in where they were tracking that account, right? After they had Keegan Kline. Maybe Keegan tipped off Richard Allen was one of them that had that account, maybe. I don't know. Maybe Richard Allen was just there at the right time, right place, and met someone there. possibly, and they did their dirty work and both split up. That would make sense because there was reports of someone riding a bike or or walking out of there with a backpack, which Chadwell at that time rode a bike and walked. Now, it's possible. And then you had the sketches. The one sketch looked like Chadwell to me, but the other one looked like a younger version of him. Or maybe, I don't know, one Rick Allen, one Chadwell, or one, I don't know. There was 6 sketches out in Delphi. 6 of them, 5 or 6 of them, I think. Sketches that were out. So was it 5 people that were there or involved in it? I don't know. But I would say with me listening to with my ear and listening to all the footage that was on Chadwell because he was active on social media. I watched plenty of his videos. It sounded like Chadwell to me, the second voice. The first one, not so much, but the second one, yeah. My question is did someone get a hold of that phone before it was found and edited it and tried to set somebody up? I don't know. It's possible. We don't know. If it was a child porn, kiddo drug ring or whatever, and even the family was wrapped up into it from what the authorities were saying or whatever, drugs or whatever, it wouldn't shock me. It wouldn't shock me at all, folks. That it was something that the girls had to keep quiet, or somebody got wind of something, and the girls had to go, possibly, maybe, or it's just a bunch of sickos down there, a bunch of very, very bad people. Right? I don't know. It could be everything the federal government in Homeland Security's been talking about for 20 years. Right? We got a problem in America. Bunch of madmen. And it's hard to spot them because you don't know. Right? And then you had the girl's voice on recording asking, is that creepy guy still following us? Well, Richard Allen didn't look too creepy to me. Chadwell, covered in tattoos and giant earlobe piercings, might have been the creepy guy they were talking about. Someone creepy looking. And when you look at Chadwell, you don't look at him and say, oh, that guy looks creepy. You just don't see it. Right? I don't know. You see Chadwell covered in tattoos and giant earlobe rings in his hair, busted up nose, and walking all with a limp or whatever. That might have been the creepy guy. Who knows? We don't know. We wish we did know. But we don't, because we weren't there. And we can only go on the evidence that is prepared and put out in front of our faces, which they could be lying from day one about it. It could be a giant cover-up, like everyone's saying, or debauched thing deliberately. We don't know. We know this much. If them are the voices they're putting out, and they have evidence, let's see it in court. Get yourself a forensic recording guy. Have him go through the goddamn voice recording. Make sure it wasn't edited. Make sure it wasn't edited, because I'm not falling for this. Oh, well, the phone sounded. crackly and everything. It was the wind, it was the leaves, it was, and then the other voice sounds different and clear. My first thing was is there's possibly that phone was tampered with, or that recording was tampered with and edited properly. And if they don't get a professional in there to look at that recording and say, there was an edit right here, right? That's why it's so crisp and clear. And this other one is possibly, I don't know. But when you're dealing with such a high profile case like this, you bring in the professionals. Everybody heard about the Delphi case. I've seen people in other chats saying, "Don't monkey with the Delphi case. It's a demonic demon spell. It's just a madness." Literally. We're praying for all the people that were hit by this hurricane. We hope all your power is on within a couple of days. We hope all my mods are safe and well. We miss you all. But that's my opinion on Delphi. I do believe it was a ring. I do, somewhere down the road, these guys all knew each other, whether it was through drugs or their organization that they all claimed that they belonged to, even Chadwell. And not soon after Chadwell made that video, he was arrested for kidnapping, assault, rape, uh, of a 9-year-old girl. Well, I don't know. Only time will tell. You had the Kurtz, which they all were known to be in some kind of a group down there. Kurtz. But everybody in this case, pretty much that was named, all one point in their footages and in their videos and photos that they pretty much admitted that they belonged to some crew down there or something, the Delphi crew or something. So it's possible all these dudes knew each other. And, you got drugs, there could be a RICO Act. You got trafficking, because some of these guys were, talking about, Chadwell was talking about taking the 9-year-old girl that he had and putting her out on the streets for the club, and they can make money for the club and the gang and everything. That was proven fact. You had all these people talking about it. So it wouldn't shock me. So there's a little bit of Delphi to go along with all the other videos I got of my opinions and theories. I can't believe it's gone on this long. I'm really starting to believe maybe these people were wrapped up in some kind of demonic cult gang, drug, sex fueled madness. And there's many more of these people in America, folks. Millions. I don't know what to. It's just flabbergasted it's gone on this long. The Summer Wells case. I can tell you this much: there's something fishy about it. It ain't adding up. Either Richard Allen was part of it, or he was part of the people that were communicating with the girls on the Anthony Shots account. Either way it goes, he's still guilty of communicating. If he didn't do the murders, he was communicating with two young 13-year-old girls. and trying to set up a meeting them and stuff. Possibly. Possibly Richard Allen had nothing to do with the Anthony Shots case, and he was just there when all this happened. There's numerous scenarios that we can go by. We won't know until it goes to court and all the evidence comes out and all these people. You got the Brad Holders, you got all these people. Which, if they're talking about this giant organization that's been down there, then I imagine all these people somehow knew each other in that small little town. I wouldn't doubt it. Even these YouTubers that are making videos down there are claiming they're from there, and they, you had Anthony Carino talking about he was being uh, groomed for a gang or something, whatever they call it, prospect or something, or initiation into a gang or something. That, yeah, it might be. All right, we hope all the mods are doing well. We hope they're all safe and alive. God bless everyone. Keep an eye on your kids, uh, and be safe. That's all I can say. Be safe. Right? There might be more people out there. They just ain't got enough evidence to arrest them. That means they're out on the streets. With all these photos these guys had in their phones, Keegan Klein had how many? 400 or something like that, or 600 photos of girls, young girls, and it might have been some pedo ring. I imagine it might be bigger. Who knows? All right, you ladies and gentlemen, be safe. Have a great night. It is raining here right now. It's damp and raining. I think the next couple of days we got rain. It's nothing major, no major storms, just rain, regular rain. So be safe. God bless all. We'll be back with more of the Delphi case and other cases. I've been trying to get away from it. It's just madness. It's madness. Miss Debbie Fox, we hope you're okay. And the other mod that lives out east that we never see, Bella Blaney, we hope you're okay. But we do really hope little Debbie Fox is okay. Hopefully, Lord, if you can get that power turned on down there. And I guess the power is all out down in northeast or whatever. I don't know, down east or south or whatever. Wherever that hurricane was. So hopefully they get that restored and we get our mods back. Everyone have a great Saturday night. God bless. And we'll talk to you later.